Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX. I'm Megha Sharma and this is Who's Winning 2024 powered by Statistically Speaking. It is a daily poll where we bring you the people's pulse. Today our focus is on the state of Jharkhand. General elections in Jharkhand will be held in 4 phases, which will start from the 4th phase on 13th of May to the subsequent phases up until the 7th and the last phase on 1st of June. Jharkhand is a state where the BJP has been dominant political force in the last 3 general elections. During the 2014 and the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, BJP secured 11 seats out of 14. In the 2019 Lok Sabha polls, BJP secured 51.5% of the vote share in Jharkhand. The party is now eyeing 400 plus target across the country and they need to retain their stronghold in Jharkhand as well. Now, talking about the 2019 Lok Sabha performance of the BJP versus 2024, what is going to bring in terms of the results? We quickly take a look at the survey that we put out for the people of Jharkhand to take. Question number 1 that we asked the people who took our survey was about what is your biggest issue in the Lok Sabha election? It's a survey size is a little over 7,000. So 7,000 people have taken this survey. The survey result, as per the big issue, what people think in Jharkhand is, well, unemployment at 41%, 48%, development at 20%, inflation at 14%, campaign against corruption at 11%, and none of these are 7% of the people who feel that none of these are the issues that they think are the important poll planks on which they will vote for the party. Question number 2. On what basis will you cast your vote in the Lok Sabha poll? Well, 61% of the people, and that's the majority, have said that they will cast their vote on the basis of the work done. 22% will cast their vote on the basis of the party. 13% they will cast their vote on the basis of the candidate. Just a minuscule 1% they thinks that they will cast their vote on the basis of caste. And 3% of the people feel that none of the above mentioned reasons or criteria will become the basis on which they cast their vote. Question number 3. How has Narendra Modi performed as the Prime Minister of the country? Well, 41% of the people feel that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has performed well. 31% of the people feel that he has performed very well. 21% of the people feel that he has performed averagely. 7% of the people can't make up their mind. Question number 4. Will the Modi factor work in the Lok Sabha elections? Well, 35% of the people feel that the Modi factor will work reasonably well. 30% of the people feel that Modi factor will work very well. 13% of the people feel that Modi factor will work averagely. 3% of the people can't make up their mind. And finally, the last question. Who do you think will form the government in 2024? Well, a majority of the people have voted in favor of the NDA. 60% of you feel, the people of Jharkhand feel, who have taken this survey, that NDA will form the government. India Alliance at 29%, government with regional alliances at 5%, can't say at 6%. So now that we have our results from the survey that we have put out for the people of Jharkhand, there were, as like I said, 7,000 plus people who have taken this survey. And I'm going to start my conversation. Joining me on the telecast right now is Neeraj Mishra, who's the Congress spokesperson. Neeraj, thank you for joining us. And quickly a response from you. What is it that the Congress and the allied parties in the Congress kitty, which is the India Alliance, doing differently in Jharkhand to be able to win the Lok Sabha elections in the state, the 14 seats, despite facing a drubbing from the BJP for the last 4 terms?
Megha, Jharkhand has not been very different from other states because the governor's office has been party to whatever the BJP has been trying to do. The onslaught which they have been carrying out throughout the country is evident in Jharkhand also. You have seen that a popular tribal chief minister is behind bars, and we don't know when his bail application will be heard and the bail will be granted because the people of Jharkhand look at Hemant Sorenji with a lot of hope because he's a young, educated tribal who has been working for the people of Jharkhand. And I'll tell you what is different in Jharkhand this time around. That for last 24 years, I think, they have had 12, 13 chief ministers. And this time they were hopeful that in Hemant Soren ji, they have got someone who understands their basic problems. And this is what they were looking for. But the
But
central government,
how do you justify that in 2014 BJP ended up winning all the 14 seats? It obviously reflects the anti-incumbency. When we take a look at the 2009 elections, that was also swept by the BJP in Jharkhand. Almost all of the majority of the 14 seats were won by the BJP, even though the government at the center was of the Congress. So if you are comparing the situation in Jharkhand, where you are accusing the government of India of dictatorial behavior, dictatorial attitude, you're talking about the Enforcement Directorate, CBI and so forth. What justification does India Alliance or regional parties or JMM have for losing the election in 2009, 2014, 2019?
Megha, I'll tell you, tribal population is the purest soul, and for last 15 years they have been betrayed by the BJP MPs. And this is the point which I was trying to make, that there is a huge anti-incumbency for BJP member of parliaments, because they are trying to just tell you that you see Prime Minister Modi's face and you forget your local MP. But this time around, people in Jharkhand are saying that what has happened to that 1932 Katyan, which they want to implement, because there has been a lot of cases of land settlement. This is a major issue there. You'll understand that Sarna religious code, which they have passed in the assembly, it needs to be notified. It is pending with the governor. This is why I'm saying that this anti-incumbency and stalling of work of the state government is a major issue, and this will result in BJP losing more than 80% seats. Congress, JMM, RJD, and all other alliance partners of India bloc are assured that this time around the people of Jharkhand will give its mandate to the India bloc, because they want a government which will work for NC2 employment.
What has the JMM Congress alliance in Jharkhand done differently that people will be influenced by you to vote in favor of JMM, of Congress, of India Alliance members in Jharkhand? That's my simple question. What is it that India Alliance members, alliance parties in Jharkhand have done or are promising to do that people will then shift their alliances, shift their loyalties from BJP and come to you?
Megha, I'll tell you. The India Alliance in Jharkhand, they have done a very simple thing. They have tried to stop that migration of young educated people of Jharkhand, which has been happening for last 15 years. And the Prime Minister has failed those people, because by not creating that in situ employment, the people of Jharkhand have been forced to go out of their hometown. If you will move around Ranchi, if you will move around Bokaro, if you will move around Dumka, you will see how people are getting those benefit of the schemes of the state government, and the development is speaking for itself. If
Okay.
you'll go there, you will find everybody talking about this, that how Chief Minister Hemant Soren in his tenure worked for everyone. That Antodaya which we speak of, he has been working for each and every person there.
Okay.
I can quote
Okay,
many
all right.
examples.
I also,
of what
okay,
he
fair
has.
enough. You made your point, sir. Now, Amit Mandal, who is the BJP MLA, joining me on the telecast. He's from Jharkhand. Amit, what do you have to say to Neeraj Mishra talking about corruption charges against Hemant Soren being false? He has spoken about the anti-incumbency factor that has engulfed Jharkhand. And this time around, it is going to be India Alliance who will garner the votes and the seats.
I was listening to Neeraj ji, and the point he was making was I'm not sure if he is aware of the ground reality. Some of the pointers which you were pointing at, like unemployment, inflation, corruption, development, leave apart inflation. I think on three parameters, the state government hasn't done anything. Unemployment, the state government promised 5 lakhs job in 1 year. They haven't done anything. Development, no development at all happening in Jharkhand. corruption, you see there are rampant corruption happening in Jharkhand. So all those three parameters, I think this government has failed. And the anti-incumbency, which you say, is acting heavily on the JMM and its alliance. Because you see, five of the MLAs from Congress, they are not happy with their government. It is well-known fact. They are all revolting against the Mahagathbandhan alliance. If you look at Rajmahal with Lok Sabha, JMM MLA is revolting against his own candidate, Vijay Hansda. If you look at Geeta Koda Singhbom, she has shifted from Congress to BJP. If you look at Dumka, Sita Soren shifted from JMM to BJP. Now, if you look in totality, Bharatiya Janata Party has delivered, and it has delivered on the schemes sponsored by Centre. All the highways construction, Bharatiya Janata Party is behind those development. All the check dams, big check dams happening in Jharkhand, Bharatiya Janata Party is behind the development. All the area of concern which the state government was we were looking up to hasn't delivered, and that is why there is a huge amount of disagreement amongst their MLAs. And this is being reflected in assembly, and this is being reflected in newspapers, and it is full. The newspapers are full of those debates happening within the government alliance. So if they don't have a good, robust government in place, how can they perform well in the coming Lok Sabha election? It is way beyond my imagination.
Khatri of the JMM is also on the telecast with me. Tanuj, you just saw the results of the survey that we have conducted. I'm going to quickly also mention once again that more than 7,000 people have taken this survey. And the people who have taken this survey feel that the Modi factor will work brilliantly for the BJP. The people also feel that Narendra Modi has performed exceptionally well as the Prime Minister of the country.
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि आपने सर्वे जो है वो बंद कमरों में किया है. जिस प्रकार
से let's not accuse the channel without having any strong evidences. There is a survey that has been conducted. These are the results. I'm obviously not saying that this represents the entire population of Jharkhand. I'm saying this is a survey of a section of people, which is 7,000 and plus, that have taken the survey.
Not a section of people. Anyways, मैं कह रहा था कि जिस प्रकार से नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने पिछले 10 सालों में ना सिर्फ झारखंड बल्कि पूरे देश के साथ विश्वासघात करने का काम किया, उसका जवाब झारखंड की जनता इस लोकसभा के चुनाव में देने का मन बना लिया. और उसका नतीजा ये है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने प्रत्याशियों की सूची जारी करती है और उसके उपरांत दूसरे दल से आए हुए लोगों को टिकट देती है. इनके पास आज हेमंत सोरेन जी को उन्होंने जेल में भेजने का काम किया और उसके बाद झूठे आरोपों में उनको जेल भेजा, और जेल भेजने के बाद भी इनके झारखंड की भाजपा के पास हेमंत सोरेन जी का मुकाबला करने के लिए राजनीतिक रूप से कोई नेता नहीं है. यहां नरेंद्र मोदी जी आए या अमित शाह जी आए, जिस प्रकार से पिछले विधानसभा के चुनाव में कुर्सियां खाली रह गई थी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सभाओं में कुर्सियां खाली रहेंगी. और क्यों खाली रहेंगी? क्योंकि लगातार इन्होंने झारखंड की जनता के साथ विश्वासघात करने का काम किया. यहाँ के आदिवासियों के साथ दमनकारी.
तनुज, यहाँ पे अगर देखा जाए, परफॉर्मेंस देखी जाए पिछले 4-5 टर्म से, जैसा कि आपने कहा 15 सालों से बीजेपी ने अपनी पकड़ बनाए रखी है. यहाँ पे बीजेपी ही जीतती है लोकसभा के इलेक्शंस में. तो इतने टर्म्स तक अगर बीजेपी जीतती आ रही है, कुछ तो सही काम कर रही होगी.
आप तो लगता है आप कैसे बोल रही हैं? बीजेपी ही जीतते आ रही है.
बीजेपी जीतते आ रही है. I'm just telling you, I'm saying, I'm seeing the statistics. 2019 BJP won, 2014 BJP has won, 2009 BJP has won, And I'm trying to understand from you, why is it that the people continue to vote for BJP? And if they are voting for the BJP, then there must be something right that the party must be doing.
वाह, बड़ा आपको दुख हो रहा है कि क्यों
I'm
नहीं?
sorry, but please don't paint me in a picture that
नहीं,
you
आप
desire
ठीक
to
है,
be. I'm
तो
saying
आपको-
I'm speaking.
आपको भी
I'm
सुनना पड़ेगा।
speaking as
अगर
per.
आप
I'm
भारतीय जनता
speaking
पार्टी
as per
को
statistics,
तो
sir.
आपको
If
सुनना
you are so
पड़ेगा।
upset
हम
that the
नहीं
BJP
बैठे।
has won, well, you should have performed well in
क्या बात कर-
2009, 2014, 2019, or at least given the BJP a tough fight.
प्रवक्ता की तरह बात ना करें, उनके प्रवक्ता हैं अपनी बातों करने के।
I'm sorry. You please do
I
not
am
use
sorry.
that language. I am
मुझे
talking
आदेश
to
देकर-
you about the statistics.
प्रवक्ता की तरह बात
Are
कर
you
रहे हैं।
saying the statistics are wrong? Are you saying the 2019 Lok Sabha
सारे-
election results in Jharkhand were wrong?
सारे गति-
Are you saying that the
सारे
BJP did not win the
बिगड़
majority
जाएंगे।
of the seats in Jharkhand?
आपको क्यों दुख दर्द हो रहा है?
I am not
जनता
feeling any
को
pain.
भेजना-
I'm asking you a fair
आपको क्यों
question.
तकलीफ-
I'm
क्यों
saying
तकलीफ
what is the
है आपको?
JMM looking
अगर
to do
आपने-
for the
आपने-
votes to get transferred to you than to go to the BJP once again? You are not
आपको
giving me a
मुझसे
straight
लग रही है।
answer. You are not giving me a
आपको
straight
मुझसे लग
answer.
रही है।
Instead, you are
आपको तो
counter accusing
आपको
me
लग रही
of
है।
things which are not right. So
आप
please,
बोलते रहिए,
please
लेकिन
not,
आपका सारा
please
डेटा
don't
फेक
defame
साबित
me
होने जा रहा है।
and don't defame my channel.
मैं बता
I am
दूं
asking
आपको,
you a
आपको
simple
बुरा
and
लगे,
straightforward
चाहे जो
question.
लगे, लेकिन
What is it that
आपका
the
सारा
JMM
डेटा
has
फेक
done
साबित होने
or
जा
is
रहा है।
looking to do
करने।
or is promising the people of Jharkhand, which will allow for the people to be convinced that India Alliance is in fact a party to rely on and then not vote for the BJP. I'll request my team to quickly mute Mr. Tanuj Khatri. If he wants to take part in a cogent, constructive conversation, I will give him a platform, but I would not like to entertain him if this is the line, this is the trajectory he will want to take off the discourse. Quickly also getting in Advocate Manaswi Thapar. Now, Advocate Thapar, in a situation that plays out where the party continues to win consecutively for 4 terms together, what chance do you think opposition has in winning this election this time around in realistic terms? Do you think the anti-incumbency factor is now slipping in, keeping in mind that the assembly elections were won by JMM in 2019?
I don't think the metrics is going to be aligned with the Assembly and the Lok Sabha. Had that been the case, things could have been different, but I don't think that is very much true. Why? Because the data, if we just go purely by the data side of it, the data is not in favor of the opposition. If I just track down the last three terms data, in 2009 itself, BJP had a vote share of around 28%, which increased in 2014 to 40%, and 2019 it was increased to 56%. So there has been a continuous increase in the BJP's vote share, though BJP's leadership in the Jharkhand specifics is not there. So the people of Jharkhand vote for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, irrelevant of the fact what the cadre is, who the leaders are in Jharkhand. So that's a very different thing. And the people of Jharkhand also align with JMM and UPA, and Congress also has its vote bank, but it has been diminishing election by election. So the last, so in 2009, the vote share between Congress and UPA and the BJP, Congress and BJP was similar. So BJP was at 28%. And Congress was at around 26%, which has been reduced in the last 10 years, which when I say 2019, considerably. BJP's vote share has been increased to 56%. Congress vote share has been reduced to around 8-9% there. So this is something which is a drastic change for the Congress and also for the alliances also. So now the benefit which the BJP enjoys here is the Prime Minister leadership's Prime Minister's face and the people's connect with the Prime Minister. So that's a difference. So the national leadership, when it comes to Lok Sabha, specifically if we talk about the Jharkhand region, so people somehow feel that connection with the Prime Minister, and that's why BJP is getting the seats which they are enjoying in 2014-19.
Yeah. So Manasi, but also talking about when they feel the connect with the Prime Minister, with Narendra Modi, what does it mean? What does this imply? then, as my survey, one of the questions said that they are going to vote on the basis of the work that has been done, the development that has happened for a place. So, do we translate it to the schemes and the projects that have been launched by the center are reaching the people of Jharkhand?
Could be one. There is another in your survey also, which people are going to vote on the ground of unemployment.
Right.
So when it comes to Lok Sabha, so unemployment would cater to the Lok Sabha unemployment. Unemployment not been fulfilled by the Lok Sabha, by the Prime Minister, by the BJP. So that's around 63% as per your survey. That is where people are also aligned. So this gives me a confused answer. Why? Because at the same time, the same people are saying that they are going to vote for the development which the Prime Minister has done, and they are going to vote the issue for which they are going to vote as unemployment. So is the issue of unemployment going to hamper GMM or Indian National Congress? I don't think so. If the same set of voters are being asked same question, this is specifically for the center. So this is a confused narrative.
Okay.
And this can now, with this confused narrative, one thing can also go against BJP could be, in this election, BJP has gone heavily against the son of Jharkhand, which is Hemant, which is Mr. Soren. So now with Mr. Soren, how is going to be that dynamics at the grassroots level? So people are going to align with that sympathy factor for JMM and the UPA and the India Alliance there, or they are going to still vote for Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Since you talk about Hemant Soren and the corruption cases against which he has been put behind bars, it's also interesting to know that in 2019, Shubhu Soren, the father of Hemant Soren, he lost against BJP, and it was quite the drubbing that he faced in 2019. So keeping in mind that people are voting, and they are voting differently when it comes to assembly elections and differently when it comes to Lok Sabha elections. And mind you, when the BJP was in power in Jharkhand in the previous term, before 2019, in 2014, there was a tide that had been witnessed where the people were voting for the BJP in the assembly elections as well. So what does that make you understand of the whole situation?
See, I think 2019 and 2014 could be assessed on a similar pattern. But 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's qad has increased by multifold. That's one point. There could be a sympathy factor for Hemant Soren, which cannot be doubted, because JMM would be heavily depending on that particular factor, creating a vote bank, getting their people in the Lok Sabha, in the parliament, because that's their fight. They have to come back in power in Jharkhand, because JMM, the entire politics of JMM is only limited to Jharkhand, and their bread and butter is Jharkhand, the politics of Jharkhand. And this particular thing can go turn around against BJP also. But BJP, as per the survey, I don't see that BJP would be the one who's going to suffer. But as per the understanding of that sympathy factor, is it going to affect so much that BJP is going to lose the vote share, or it is not going to be a factor? If it is not going to be a factor, then this also becomes a challenge for Hemant Soren in the upcoming Vidhan Sabha election in Jharkhand.
Fair enough. That's an important point to make. Advocate Gyanendra Mishra, would you like to comment on this? Does the Hemant Soren factor work in favor of India Alliance in Lok Sabha elections? And if it doesn't, as Manasvi put, his stature is at stake in the upcoming assembly elections as well?
I think yes, because I don't know how. See, the first thing that I noticed in your survey was, though I'm not doubting that I think this would have been a very pertinent question to ask to the people, that whether the arrest of Hemant Soren and the way it has been done just before the Lok Sabha election would have, mattered for the people of Jharkhand and how they perceive it. In my view, we are from the Bihar and Jharkhand, I think it is going to be a very big factor, because it relates to, and the way the JMM is trying to project in Jharkhand is that it is an attack on the pride of the tribals. That a young, dynamic tribal leader who was the chief minister and performing well in terms of, when you talk about the state government, the way he has been arrested in a case which is almost 12 years old, and just before, and there was no specific and cogent reason to arrest him at the time when he was arrested, because it was not as if that some new material has come on record or some great discoveries has been made which make it imperative for the investigating agencies to arrest him. So the way it has been projected and being perceived by the people of the Jharkhand, and particularly the tribal people, is that he was pressurized to change his side and become an ally of the ruling dispensation. But when he refused and remained steadfast in his commitment to the Jharkhand and the India alliance, he was arrested.
Do you think Draupadi Murmu factor could work in BJP's favor, further work in BJP's favor this time? Also, the tribal scheme that has been launched very recently by the Prime Minister, does this impact the large tribal population in Jharkhand?
That's a good question, but my thought on that is that, one is that Draupadi Murmu is not essentially from Jharkhand, that's one. Second is that it has been a while that she was appointed, the President of India. And third, there have been occasions when the opposition alliances is trying to project it that the way she has been treated by the power to be is in a way an insult because she isn't tribal women. So I think it was an appointment in the time which has no immediate nexus with the Lok Sabha election. And the important thing that I was viewing when you made the review and when my another panelist, another fellow colleague advocate pointed out that 41% of the people is, as far as the Lok Sabha election is concerned, is viewing unemployment as one of the most important factor which they will consider while they go to vote.
Okay.
And it is an admitted fact that the performance of the current dispensation as far as the employment is concerned is not up to the expectation of the people, and the unemployment
fair enough. Of course, that has been the number one. That has been the number one attack of the opposition leaders of the India Alliance members against the BJP about unemployment and inflation. I think those are and of course corruption. Those are the 3 points that the opposition continues to harp upon to attack the BJP and to attack Narendra Modi. Now, whether these are going to be the factors and whether people get influenced by the narrative set by the opposition leaders, whether people are satisfied with the BJP and are going to bring it back to par, well, it remains to be seen. It has been an interesting conversation. It's 14 seats that are at stake for the BJP to cross the 400 mark. Well, every single one of them is going to be extremely integral in reaching that figure. I'm completely out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast. Thanks so much.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.